Hi, this is Fred with Quality One Engravers. This is EngraveLab version 8, and I'm going to show you how to do a long plate sign. I'm just a user and a dealer, so there may be other ways of doing it, but this is the way that I found works very well. I'm going to start with generating a plate here. And I'm going to make it about maybe 40 inches by, say, 6 inches. Maybe that's the sign that I want. Now, you might notice that I have a plate size here of just 12 by 12. I'm assuming that that's your engraving table. That's the largest plate size that you can engrave. I'm going to hit F7 to zoom out. F8 is to zoom to the plate. And let me just make that layer 1. And I'm going to type my text in here. And I'll just type in Quality One Engravers. And I'm going to hold down the Alt key and hit the Home key and the End key. Actually, that centers it in the center of the plate itself and not in this shape. So I'm going to click on this shape, hold the Shift key, go Alt K, and make sure that it's not center to plate, it's on center to last object, center. So that little trick actually didn't work too well there. Anyways, here's the sign that I want. I'm going to double click on this, and I think I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Let me go 1 3/4, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to Shift click on the outer border, and this time I'm going to do Control K because it will do the same function that I did before with Alt K. So here's the sign that I want to make. Now, I know with upper and lower case, when you have serif letters, I do like a little bit less letter spacing. So I'm going to click on my text here, and I'm going to do some on-screen kerning. And I just made this little dot kind of a bullseye, and move that over. I'm going to take this one and move this over. And I am not aware of line spacing available in EngraveLab. But anyways, this should now be centered. If it isn't, I'll go Shift click, Control K, and now it is centered. Now, what I need to do is, I have only a 12 by 12 plate, so I'm going to draw a rectangle here, and I'm going to make sure that this distance is 12 because I know that's how much it will engrave. Now, you might notice that I'm working in landscape. I can think a lot better in landscape rather than portrait. So I'll turn it 90 degrees because I know that my machine will take an infinite distance vertically, but horizontally you have the throat of your machine will be your limiting factor. So here's this part that's 12 inches in width, and I want to put it somewhere so that it's convenient. So I'm go to the left edge, and I'm going to make that X dimension. Well, I need to put this plate. I'm sorry. Let me just get everything. This plate and this plate. Go to the left edge, and I'm going to make that at exactly -10. So it's a nice easy number. So now I know that this is 1, 2, 3. So I need to move this over, and I'm going to put this at a real convenient position. That's going to be at -7. So within my first engraving, I can engrave the entire word quality. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to go Control Alt D. I know it's 12 inches, and I already had it set up for 12, but I'm going to leave that at 12 and say OK. So now when I hit Control D, you see I have a duplicate exactly next to it. So I can see that if I moved it over exactly 12 inches, I'd be able to engrave the 1 and the EN. Now I'm going to do that one more time, Control Duplicate, but this time on this one I'm going to move it back so that it's at 16. Okay, so here's going to be my moves. I'm going to start with my plate hanging over 3 inches. Then I'm going to move it 12 inches, and then I'm going to move it 11 inches to do my engraving. And sometimes I make these different colors. Let me make that P2, this one P3, and this one P4, just for argument's sake, just so I see different colors. Now, the other thing that I need to do is I need to separate this text. So I'm going to go to Arrange. Now, if you need to save this, you can certainly go Control D and just put a copy up here. Oops. Because once you break this text apart, if you have another one to do, you won't be able to recoup your engraving or your letter style. So I'm going to go to Arrange and Break Path, which is Control J. And I'm going to make this P2. And then I'm going to engrave all the way over to the P3. And then this last section is going to be P4. So there's my 3 items that I want to engrave. Now I'm going to, just to get this down within the plate, because these boxes really are just for my reference of how far I'm moving them. But when I move this over, I need to position it at 0. So all I'm doing is just changing the height of it, not the width. But I want it all within my plate size. So I'm going to select all of this, and now I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to hit F7 to zoom out. And there's that other copy. Let me just get that out of the way. And I'm going to take all of this, and I'm going to move this bottom corner to a Y dimension of 0. And this corner here at an X dimension of 0. And if I hit F8, it zooms to the plate. Now, I know that I want to move this down to 3 inches, so I'm going to take this value, click to the right of it, -3, and it moves it down. And now hit F7, and what I want to engrave is just this word quality. So I can see this is my plate, which I have as layer 1. All I want to do is just select just the word quality, and I'm going to send that to the engraver. So I would engrave, output, and if I want to zoom to my plate, actually I have this set up as a much bigger table, of course, 24 by 48, but this is what you're going to see, how your engraving is going to look. I'm going to close that. So I've engraved the word quality. Now I'm going to, obviously you have to select everything, and I know I want to move it down this much, which this height is 12. So I'll select all of it, and I'll go to my Y, -1, 2, enter. And now I'm going to zoom to plate, which is F8, and I can look at that I need to select just this part of it. So I've moved my plate down 12 inches, and now I'm going to engrave the O&E in 1 and the ENG in engraving or engravers. Again, you go to engrave, plot. I'm going to zoom out using the F6 key, and now now I know that this one I overlapped an inch. And always try and keep it in very even inch marks, so you're not fussing around with trying to get your fractions. So I know I need to move this down 11 inches. So I'm going to click here, click to the right, use my numeric keypad, -11, hit enter, and then hit number F8, click away, and now this is what I'm going to engrave. And you can see that this is at my 0, and don't worry about that it's not at 0 here. This is at 0. That's your outer plate. This was just the box that I made. So now I'm going to select just this text after I've moved it down 11 inches and press the start button. And you can see how easy it is when you divide it up. Now, when you're doing a plate that has multiple lines, it isn't quite as easy as this, but most long plates are going to be this fashion. They'll have 1 or 2 lines. If there's a second line below it, or 2 or 3 lines, you're going to do the same thing. If you had another line right here, I'll hold the Alt key and copy this down here. you're just going to do the same thing with this box that's within the line. Look for whatever it encompasses. And then obviously if this doesn't encompass a letter and it's down in the middle, then of course you'll have to move it back an inch. So you'll have to do it in different segments. Anyways, I hope this little training helps you do long plates. And give me a call if you need any help. Thank you.